podcast of the DMV. It's not about you. It's not about me. It's about we and God we trust. Sir Rod and Lady Z. PTP. Positive thinking people. PTP. Positive thinking people. PTP. Positive thinking people. Every Monday night.
Every Monday.
Every Wednesday night.
Every Wednesday.
Every Friday night.
Friday.
Every Monday night.
Monday.
Every Wednesday night.
Every Wednesday.
Every Friday night.
Friday day
Every
night.
Monday night.
Monday.
Every Wednesday night.
Wednesday.
Positive thinking people.
Good evening. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to everyone just joining in right now. This is People to People with Rodney Grimes. I am, again, blessed by the best to be here, to be able to come to you and talk to you about something that hopefully is going to enlighten your mind, your thoughts, your walk in life. Guess what? This is the People Podcast of the DMV. We do this because we try to give everybody a choice and a voice. Listen, I've got to just first give honor and praise to God for an amazing networking event that we had in Tyson's Corner at the Intelligence Office, 1934 Old Gallows Road. It was on the third floor. Let me tell you something. They say it's Vienna, Virginia. We say Tyson's Corner, same thing. But anyway, it was there. Everybody that came out, man, we had a wonderful time. And this is what we talked about we was going to be doing for the DMV, building relationships. And that's what we did yesterday. I just want to say thank you to several people. I may leave some out. It's not intentional because you know what? I can't remember everything, but I try. But first of all, I just want to give honor and praise to God. Thank him for his blessings. Then I got to definitely thank my wife, Lady Z, who consistently stand by me throughout the whole thing. And I'm just so excited just to have a lady that believes in me 100% and is willing to make those sacrifices. She stayed up all night long on Saturday cooking with all the trials and tribulations that we had going on. It was just amazing. So we got all kind of noises going on. I got to do something because I'm not in my studio today. Hold on just a second. Okay. Yeah, there we go. We got rid of that noise. Okay, so it's just the way it is. I always say when things kind of go a little off keel or whatever, I just say, Satan be gone. And my topic today, before I even get started, so get ready, you might want to call some people. My topic today is the man and woman in the mirror, checking in with yourself. I'm going to tell you where I got that topic from and why I'm talking about it, because it's very, very important that we all check in with ourselves, and it's the way to do it. Okay, so let me continue about yesterday. It was just an amazing event. We had anywhere from 80 to close to 100 people there. Some of the people that came out, Tony Perkins, yes, the host on radio shows and television, an amazing man. I just send peace and blessings to him that he took the time out of his day to come out and show some support for us at the podcast location out there in Tyson's Corner. Retired NFL football player Leslie Shepard was in the house. We had the Queen, Steph Marie was in the house, the Queen of Poetry. We had Skitter Scat, the DC rapper. I mean, Skitter Scat doing his thing all over the place with his song Tell Me, and Sky High. We also had the singer Jay Hart was in the house. I know he's gonna get me, but y'all gotta understand, it gets a little hectic sometimes just trying to remember everybody. And Frank Johnson was in the house from representing his book. Prophet Sherman Harris was in there representing his book. Anthony Suggs and his wife was in there representing the Beast Within, their book, and also their T-shirt, Iron Sharpens Iron. We had Pastor Diane Haskin from the Assembly of Saints was in the house. We had just many people that came out. Andrew Clark, the chairman of the head guy in the Tyson's chambers. We had Lucius. I got Lucius' card over here somewhere. We have it's Lucius limousine service. Let me find that card because he has he came out to represent, brought his party bus out, and I'm gonna find that because I had a whole bunch of them over here. But that was just some of the people that was there. We had several people that just came out to set up that was selling different things, doing different things, and I can't really go through and just remember everybody. And also, I just want to say kudos to the Queen Rachel Pope. Congratulations on your magazine that's going to be dropping next month. She also contributed to the process of what was going on. I hope I said Beth Creations. Beth, who do the baskets. I hope I mentioned her. And if I left anybody out, please don't hold it to me because it's not intentional. Okay, let me calm down because we was real stressful. Just trying to make sure everybody was enjoying themselves. But the topic today is very important, the man in the mirror. Shout out to TEP Entertainment Production, TEP TV that's on Roku. Shout out to Paul Randall who came out yesterday. We had all kind of individuals that was in the house yesterday. I'm just trying to let people names pop in my head, and I'll be able to say it. And Stat DC was in the house. We had Tracy Clark that does I forget what man, I'm telling you. It's let me just slow down. But Tracy Clark was in the house. Also, she's another distributor of helping people in the community and so forth and so on. So it was just an awesome event. And I'm just going to slow down, take a deep breath. Because I came home exhausted. And I was so proud to see everyone out there networking. And I want to say congratulations to everyone that supported the podcast, that's been supporting the podcast. Those who couldn't make it, some of you called and let me know what was going on. And I put peace and blessings in your life and hope that you're okay. I want to also send my condolences out to the Lucas family. I know that they got to do a homegoing celebration tomorrow for one of the family members. And I wanted to just send my love out to them and let them know that, we're praying for them and that we know that this is a rough time. And many of us going to go through this. Many of us went through it. But we got to stay faithful, grounded in God. Let me go to the topic. The topic is the man and woman in the mirror. Now, every time that I come up with something, a lot of times it's because somebody gave me the idea. I was talking to one of my partners, Tep Gardner of TEP Entertainment, TEP TV on Roku, and he was talking about how he go about things and things that he had to address. And he said, you know what, Rodney? He said, man, you know what I do? He said, I go to the man in the mirror. He said, I go talk to myself in the mirror and I get my answers because the man in the mirror won't lie to me. And when he said that, I said, well, Tap, I said, it's going to be my topic today because guess what? That's what we all need to do. We need to go to the man in the mirror. Now, remember, we do the man in the mirror once a month at the People to People podcast with Boo Jones, Nate Jenkins, Amy Cakes, and myself, right? And that's the main objective that we talk about, being accountable for your actions. So what I want you to do is I want you to think about that. How many of us go to the man or woman in the mirror, which is ourselves, and have those conversations? One thing you can't do is you can't lie to yourself. You can't lie to yourself. Good morning, good afternoon, Anita. How you doing? Send peace and blessings to you. So let me tell you something. If you got somebody that's going through something, you need to get them on the phone and tell them to tune in and check this out because we getting ready to get in some deep conversation. But the man and woman in the mirror is not going to lie to you, and all of us need to talk to them. I had Demetrius. Did I pronounce her name right?
Demetria.
Demetria from the Good Fight, also in the studio location yesterday in Tyson's Corner, supporting us as well. And one of the things that she always talked about, she said, you want to go back to talk to that child, go back to that child and talk to them and find out, where you at. Talk to that little you, so that you can move forward. Welcome there, Walter. Peace and blessings to you. You want to go back to that child and you want to get into self. Go back into self. Now you can do this in the mirror, or you can do it in the closed room by yourself. You can do it in the car. It don't matter. But when you talking to yourself, you can't lie to yourself because then that's when you are crazy. When you are talking to yourself and you lie to yourself, you are crazy. But when that man or that woman go into the mirror and be honest with oneself, you get nothing but the truth. And as they say, the truth will set you free. Now, when I'm talking about the man in the mirror, we're talking about all relationships, all styles of living, everything that we do. Now, this has something to do with also what that program was about yesterday out in Tyson's Corner that was put on by the People to People podcast. We was doing a networking event to build relationships. And it's all about each one of us who look at ourselves in the mirror and what do we do to help each other? What do we do to help ourselves? I'm going to repeat some of the things that were shared yesterday. The Queen Steph Marie, she said, how many of you go out and get physicals? How many of you do that? You go get a physical. You get a physical on your body. You get a physical to see if your blood pressure is up. You're going to see if you got cholesterol problems. You want to see why you got an ache in your back. How many of you go get a mental physical? How many of you go and get a mental physical? She said that yesterday. And when she said that, I thought that was so powerful. How many of us do that? How many of us just sit back and realize that we got some issues we need to address? Why we treat each other the way we do. I got people that don't speak to me that supposed to love me. But what is it? Tell them to go to the mirror and find out why. It's people that might don't speak to you. You don't know why. They need to go into the mirror and figure it out. Because when they go to the mirror, they're going to find out that most of them have an issue with themselves. If you can't forgive a person for just stepping on your foot, or, if they called you a name when you was 15 years old and now you 55 and you still holding on to that, come on, you need to go to the man in the mirror or the woman in the mirror. If you're having issues in your relationship and you don't know why you allowing somebody to beat on you or lie on you or treat you any kind of way, you need to go to the man or woman in the mirror and go talk to them and ask them, what's wrong with your self-esteem? Why you don't love yourself? Why you allowing somebody to do this to you? You need to go to the man in the mirror and also get your spiritual strength. It said, I called it a spiritual checkup. That's exactly what it is. We all need them. We all need them. We are made in the image of our God. Each and every last one of us. Each and every last one of us possess this power to overcome almost anything that's earthly bound. All of us have that opportunity. I talk to myself all the time in the mirror. I laugh. I be laughing at myself in there too. Because sometimes I be saying, Rodney, you crazy as I don't know what. And I just bust out laughing. Because you know why? Because I just keep on coming back. And I keep on striving to be a positive thinking individual in a community where some people don't even want to receive that positive energy. Right? I look at the man in the mirror and I say, man, why do you do this? You know what the man in the mirror tell me? He said, because God said, keep moving forward. Keep being a blessing to others. Stop pointing your fingers at other people. Stop crying about what they didn't do for you. Stop worrying about what the man is wearing across the street. Stop worrying about that woman, why she could get her nails done and you can't. Stop worrying about why they live in a big house. That's what the man in the mirror be telling me. When I go and be straight up with him. When I go be straight up with that man in the mirror. And if you're a woman, you talk to the woman in the mirror. you start to find out that a lot of things that you worry about is unnecessary. You allow people to control you, and they start to dictate what you do and how you're going to feel. Go to the man in the mirror and ask the man in the mirror, am I okay? Am I really loving myself? Am I really doing what I can do to help somebody else? I know after yesterday at the networking event, I was so proud and pumped up. I was so proud and pumped up because I realized the man in the mirror, we've been having this talk and we on the right track. Now I still got some things I got to work on. I got to stop worrying about what the other people have and that I don't. I got to stop worrying about how many people is tuning in when I'm putting a message out there that probably was only meant for one person really to hear it. And if that person is on there, guess what? Then God is doing his job because God is in control, not me. I here come out here publicly. If it's meant for them to see it, guess what? God going to put it in their spirit to tune in. And so I got to keep moving as I talk to the man in the mirror. I got to ask myself, you know what I said, Rodney? Are you doing this to be popular? Are you doing this because you want to be a celebrity? Or are you really doing this to help somebody? And does it matter if you help 1,000, 1,000,000, or does it matter if you help just one? And if you just help just one, what does that do for you? Or do you have to have that celebrity status where you have millions and millions of people? I ask myself that. And guess what the man in the mirror tells me? He tells me the truth. He knows that in my heart that I mean well. He knows that I'm a giving person. I love helping everyone. And not everybody's going to receive exactly what my thoughts are or the direction I'm going. Not everybody have the guts to even get onto a podcast and talk about the truth. Not everybody has it in them to come and tell another person that you need some help. But you know something? We all need to self-check in and check out what we're doing. Reason why we really need to do all this, one, first, because you're going to find out where you're weak at. You're going to see your weak areas. And the wisdom that you will obtain from that is going to give you some strategy to go in a direction to start solving some of your problems. We got to get to a point where we really, really understand, we are responsible for everything that we do. God give us that. He gives us that will, the understanding. And as we get older, what they call it? Wisdom. They call it wisdom. And each one of us that inquire that, we start to do better. You got to think about a person who got a drinking problem. Why would you go past the liquor store? Why would you ride past the liquor store when you know you're trying to quit? Huh? Because, the man in the mirror going to tell you, you got a drinking problem. You already know that. So why don't you go the other way so you don't even be tempted? Huh? The man in the mirror or the woman in the mirror is going to tell you the truth. It's all about you just coming to the reality of who you are. It says, love the people where they are and have faith in God. Love yourself and take care of yourself. Come on now. Come on. That's what you have to do. I will read that again. It says, love the people where they are and have faith in God. Love yourself. Take care of yourself. Hello there, Pastor Joyce. We missed you yesterday. It was phenomenal. It was a phenomenal program. The event was just off. It was amazing. But I know everybody that wasn't able to get there, like I said, I'm sure something came up. And, and I said, peace and blessings to you. We received you in spirit. Also, I'm going to let you know for everybody that wasn't there, and remember, I'm going to put it out there right now. The Cash App is the $ RG1960. We ask for donations. We ask some people to do that. I don't care if it's 10, 5, 15, or 1,000. We ask it because we blessed a lot of people yesterday. If you was there, you would see what we put out and what we provided. I'm gonna get back on my topic because it's not good that I jump off. I definitely want to give kudos out to the intelligence office, man. They really blessed me. They really blessed me very well yesterday. So let's get back on topic. It's the man or woman in the mirror. Let me say this. A lot of times when we're struggling with self, it's the person within inside of you. Many people have talked about this, and I've heard this from my psychiatrist, my therapist, and then I heard it from other people. Like I'm gonna call her Cookie because that's what I call her, my little sister with the Good Fight. She always talk about that little kid. You got to go back and revisit that little kid. My life coach told me one time, she said, Rodney, in order for you to kind of deal with some of your issues, you got to go back to the little kid in you and find out where you at. Find out what's going on with you. And a lot of us need to do that. You want to know why you when you get nervous, you pick your nose, right? Or why when you're lying, you start to bat in your eyes, right? Go back to the little kid and think about when all these things started. You'll start picking up and understanding little habits that you had that as a child that carried into your manhood or your womanhood. I knew a woman that was a compulsive liar. I used to laugh at it because I'd be wondering why she lied all the time. Well, guess what I figured out? I figured she must didn't have many friends when she was growing up. So she always tried to make up some fantastic stuff to get people to like her. But if she went back and checked in with that little girl, she probably would have figured it out. I used to laugh. If I saw her today, I'd just tell her, say, go check in with the woman in the mirror. Especially if I know she told me something that wasn't true. That's what I'm going to tell her. But I'm just saying, I was trying to be funny a little bit. But for all of us out there, listen, it's important. It's important for us to check ourselves. Get to a point where you understand. And let me say this, stop making it about yourself. Ask yourself when you're in that mirror situation, what's going on? Why is it like this? Why are you having these problems? Ask yourself in the mirror. Or you don't have to say that self. Say the person in the mirror that you see. You see your reflection. You're going to have to answer the truth. I'm going to tell you something. One of my cars had a problem, right? And the service light kept coming on, right? I know I looked at every reason why I didn't go get a check, and then it stopped working. Whose fault was that? Come on, let's keep it real. I mean, whether it was a default on their part or not, I probably could have got it taken care of. So when I look in the mirror, the man in the mirror tell me, I want to blame everything on the dealer, the people that made the vehicle and everything. But if I had to follow through on my process, when I first thought about it, saw that thing come on, I should have went on and checked it. That's what you got to do even on your job. Look at the man in the mirror and understand why people come after you. Why are they picking on you? Is it anything that you can do to make it better? And I tell you, that man or woman in the mirror will tell you the truth. It might tell you that you need to go to work and start minding your business. It might tell you that you need to be quiet and stop all the time raising your hand up talking about, I know what's going on. It might tell you that you need to step your game up. If you're going to be honest, to go to that man and woman in the mirror is going to tell you, if you got high blood pressure and you're not sleeping right and doing all these things, why you have to just go to the doctor and ask the doctor when you already know that you're not doing the right thing? Go look in the mirror and ask yourself, what is it that I can do to make my life better? And also check yourself with your relationships with other people. Go to the man or woman in the mirror and talk to them. You don't have to I'm not telling you not to go seek help, but I'm telling you to go to yourself first and figure it out. You know what I start to realize? I cannot control what other people do or think about me. I can't control that. But what I can control is how I respond to them. And when I talk to myself in the mirror, I be like, that so-and-so, man, treated me like this. That so-and-so didn't bother me. And guess what the man in the mirror tell me? He say, so what? Do they sleep with you? Do they pay your bills? Do they pray with you? And I look at him and I say, no, they don't. He said, well, then go on and mind your business, keep moving. You don't tell me no lie. You don't tell me that I should go somewhere and cry. The word I wanted to tell you use that he told me I can't do. But he told me don't worry about him. He said, go handle your business. The man in the mirror is going to tell you the truth. The woman in the mirror is going to be honest with you. A lot of us are in relationships, man, we know we ain't supposed to be in. Because people are not giving you that love, not giving you that respect. Why would you keep going around somebody who abuse you and use you? Go to the man or woman in the mirror and ask them. Let's think about where we are. And let's think about how we are among each other. If you get anything out of this message, I want it to be 3 things. So the first one I want you to do is remember, go talk to yourself. As long as you're not lying to yourself, you're not crazy. Go check yourself out in the mirror. Ask yourself some questions. and be honest with yourself. The other thing, work on sharing love, sharing your networking skills, sharing your blessings. All of that plays a factor. Let me tell you something, a lot of us think we don't need nobody else, but you do. We need each other. And if you are in a household and you think because you the one making all the money and you doing everything, let me tell you something. A bus could hit you easily and put you in a wheelchair for the rest of your life. And the next thing you know, you need somebody to help you. We have a tendency to take a lot of things for granted. But go to the man or woman in the mirror and ask them, are you a superman or are you a superwoman? Or are you really thinking that you are as good as God? Ask yourself and see what yourself tell you. It's going to tell you the truth. It's going to say, if you think that you as powerful as God because you walking around here with diamonds and pearls and a fancy car and a big house, let me tell you something. That person in that mirror going to tell you you're a fool. Man or woman. If you walking around with your chest pumped up because you working out and thinking you all that, guess what? You still can be sick. You still can get sick. Ask the man in the mirror. It's going to tell you, you're not invincible. See, we got to check ourselves and be able to understand what we need to do day by day. Let us just get to a point where we deal with the truth. And let it not be a selfish thing. Let it be where we show love for one another. Let me tell you something. I got a lot of family members around me that I realized that, you know what? A lot of times I didn't reach out to them, but I need them. Man in the mirror told me that. I got a lot of friends that I haven't reached out to. I need them. Man in the mirror told me that. You know, these are the people that a lot of them that care about me. George said, God gives us what we can't handle, and the rest are things we pick up ourselves. We want so much more, and sometimes we can't handle what he has already given us. For example, we want to work on others and not ourselves. Yes, let's look at the person in the mirror. We might be shocked at what we see. Come on there, Pastor Joyce. Come on. I love that. You're right. I'm telling you. And let me read. It says, we want so much more, and sometimes we can't handle what we already have, what was already given to us. Sometimes we asking for a lot of money, and you can hit the number for $5,000 and don't even know what to do with $5,000, but you want $5 million. You say you want a good person in your life, you get them in a good person in your life, and then you mess over. Come on. And guess what? It says, yes, let's look at the person in the mirror. We might be shocked at what we see. You know, me personally, a lot of times when I talk, I'm talking to myself. I never claim to be perfect. God has just been changing my life. He's just been putting me in situations where, you know what, I'm just getting wiser and trying to be better as an individual. There's many things that I've done wrong. The man in the mirror told me, you know you shouldn't have did that. You should have backed off. You shouldn't have said it. You shouldn't have took it. You shouldn't have wrote it. Do I call and tell the whole world? No, I don't. But the man in the mirror tells me the truth. The man in the mirror tells me, you know what, you haven't been real faithful to God. You've been slacking. He tells me the truth. All I'm saying is this. Let us get to a point where what we do as individual, man or woman, let us not be about self. If you had came to the event yesterday, you'd have seen what I was talking about. You'd have seen it was a beautiful event. I'm telling you. A lot of us left out of there feeling truly blessed because we was able to share love. You know, when somebody called me today and they said, you know what, I left out of there, I felt blessed because everybody in there had, you could feel the energy that came in there with the same intent to network. That's what they did. They came in there to network. And some of them started sending donations back to the podcast, which I was just so blessed for that. I was so blessed. You know why? Because I look at man in the mirror. Now, and I'm going to tell y'all something, what's going on. You can come on this program and you can talk about any and everything. As long as we're not going to be discriminating against anybody, we're not going to be putting anybody down. We're not going to be talking about no real serious politics that's going to get us in some trouble, or send us to jail or something crazy. You come on the podcast with people to people, we're going to talk about it because everybody have a story, and everybody's story is important. Everybody has something that they need to share. And I'm telling you, that's what I do when I go into the man in the mirror with me. I go in there and I realize what I need to do to be able to navigate with other people. Because this is what God chose me to do. I'm going to be honest with you. Y'all don't know how hard this is. Thank you for the invite last night, Rodney and Zena. It was awesome. This is Horace and Marie. Thank y'all, Maria, for coming. Thank you so much for what you do. Maria Price has a service that she gives as well, helping people get back on their feet. I want to talk about that. Go to the man or woman in the mirror and try to tell me how to get off addiction if you ain't never been addicted to something. Tell me what it's like to be locked up if you ain't never been locked up before. Tell me what it's like to lose a child if you never lost one. Tell me what it's like to get hit by a car. You ever got hit by a car and know what it feels like to get hit by some metal that ain't stopping, that's not going to give? You don't know if you ain't never been hit by a car. Don't tell me you know how it feels. I got hit by a car twice. I'm going to tell you something. It's like running into a brick wall. It don't give not even a little tiny bit. A lot of us have to be honest. Go to the man in the mirror. And when you go to man in the mirror direct you to people that can help you. Like Maria Price. Like Horace Williams, who's a health guru. Now he's out here training people how to make their health, their wealth. We got so many people that's doing these things, and what they do, they've come into the reality of who they are. They checking themselves. How do you do that? Man in the mirror. I'm giving the man in the mirror of our program a hell of a plug right now. We have the man in the mirror every last Thursday of the month with Boo Jones, Nate Jenkins, and Amy Cakes, and myself. And it'd be phenomenal, the guests that we have on there. So Boo, I ain't trying to steal the title of man in the mirror. It's just the topic of the day. It's the man or woman in the mirror. How about that? Because you know what? I love seeing people move forward. I love what we're doing to help each other. We had people out there yesterday, man. It was phenomenal. They was coming up talking, and they was sharing their books. Kudos to Sherman Harris for his new book. Oh my God, man! I'm so blessed, man, to have been a part of that yesterday. We had Steph Marie out there. She had her book. We had Anthony Suggs, who had his book out there. We had Frank Johnson, who had his book out there. Man, we had a lot of authors out there yesterday. And if I could be frank with you, excuse me, if I could be real frank with you, it was so powerful. I saw so many people like me that's finally seeing the man or woman in the mirror, that's making a difference, doing things positive. We're not selling no dope. We selling hope. We're not out there pulling each other down. We pulling each other up. We got people from all walks of life, all cultures. I want to tell you, one of the individuals there, Mr. Andrew Clark. He's the head man in the chambers of Congress out there for Tyson Corner. Let me tell you something. Good guy. Good guy. I like people like that always out there shaking hands and trying to get people to better themselves. I wonder when he go look at the man in the mirror, what does it tell him? Does it tell him to go out there and just be a good person, or do he tell him, say, you need to step your game up and help more people? When I do that, that's what my man in the mirror tell me. He said, Rodney, work harder to be consistent. We was late coming on about 15 minutes today, right? The man in the mirror was telling me, don't get mad. The man in the mirror was telling me, don't hold nobody responsible, because if you didn't want to be late, then you make sure that you ready at 1:15 instead of trying to get stuff ready at 7:00. That's what the man in the mirror said. But me, I try to start getting the attitude. And sometimes I got to check myself. Sometimes I got to look at the man in the mirror and be honest. Gerald, how you doing, my brother? Peace and blessings to you, man. I wish you was out at that networking event yesterday. Oh, man, you could have made some big connections out there. It was phenomenal. But guess what? I'm going to let y'all know something. Guess what? I haven't talked to them yet, but I'm getting ready. I got a meeting. The thing was such a success yesterday, and so many people, we got so many positive phone calls today that they was asking us to make sure that we do another one. And I'm thinking about doing one at the end of June. So that gives us just a little over 30 days to get prepped up for it. I haven't discussed that with my wife yet, so I got to find out what she say and then run it by some other people and see what's happening. But I'm telling you, man, that was phenomenal. And if y'all think that y'all missed something yesterday, wait till y'all see what we got coming. Oh man, it was phenomenal. Man, I'm telling you, the performances yesterday was off the chain. It was just amazing. It was amazing. It says, I can only imagine still working to get care for my mom. I send peace and blessings to you, my brother. I want you to look at the man in the mirror and ask the man in the mirror, where is he at right now? Who is he blessing right now? What is he doing right now? See what the man tell you. He probably smile at you. You taking care of your mom, bro? The man in the mirror can tell you. He can tell you where you at. He can tell you how you moving. Don't worry about what nobody else saying. Don't worry about when the people see you struggling, especially when you're doing something you know that the man in the mirror is telling you got to do. Be proud of it. There's a lot of us out here got haters unnecessarily, but the man in the mirror or the woman in the mirror is not going to hate on you. They're going to tell you the truth. They're going to tell you if you can hang in there or not. For everybody that tuned in with me, I just send peace and blessings to you. It's always a great opportunity for me to come. It's people to people, power to power, positive thinking people. I do this not because I get paid. I don't do this because I'm making a lot of money. I can assure you that. Any one of you want to go with me to check my bank account? Come on. I'm going to take you. But I'm going to tell you, when you get in the mirror with me, I'm going to tell you, I'm rich with love. I'm rich with joy. I'm rich with God. I'm going to tell you, the man in the mirror going to be smiling and tell you, guess what, Rodney, keep doing what you're doing. Because guess what? God knows. Through the man in the mirror, he tells me. Through the man in the mirror, he lets me know. Sometimes it's going to be rough. Sometimes I'm going to think that I'm working backwards. But he always had that ram in the bush. He always had that person that gives you a little bit of encouragement that looks in the mirror as well and know how to tell you what's going on. It says, amen, I wouldn't have it no other than encouragement is most appreciated. I'm sure what you meant was you wouldn't have it no other way. Let me tell you something, man. I love you for standing up and taking care of your mom. I love you for what you do. I love you how you've helped me. I love you how you have been a blessing and supported me. Not everybody have to be in your presence to be a blessing to you. People could just pray for you. If you in Tucalo, Mississippi, and I'm in Washington, D.C., and we praying for the same thing, guess what? God hears us. He hears us. You could be on the moon, and I could be down here digging dirt. But if we praying at the same time, God hears us. He hears us, and he hears us well. And he makes it so that, guess what? It all comes to the betterment of you. God lets nobody. Some people believe that God make you suffer. What happens when you lose a child or your mother die? What happens? Or your husband or wife die? Why you get mad at God? Look at the man in the mirror and ask him, why would you get mad at God? Your mom and your sister, your brother, your children, the first one to die on this earth? Ask the man in the mirror. They're going to tell you, you are a fool if you mad with God because you lost somebody. And not lost them. That's life. Everything that's born is going to die. It's going to transition. Every tree, every bug, even grass, it does not live forever. And if you get in the mirror and ask these questions, you will receive the truth. Go to the man or woman in the mirror. Ask them, why are you not being blessed? Because the man in the mirror going to tell you, are you blessing others? Do you always have your hand out for wanting instead of having your hand out to give? Prayers are invaluable, my good friend. Everyone has expiration date. They do. Believe me. You know, every time that I go to bed, this was shared with me through Prophet Sherman. He said, every time you go to bed, throw away that faith that you had that day. Throw it away. Get rid of it. He said, go to sleep and wake up with new faith. Because you should wake up with a different faith when you wake up. You should wake up and be giving glory and praise to God that you have another day to be a better person. Your faith should be much stronger than it was Sunday than now on Monday. And when you wake up Tuesday, it should be stronger than Monday. And when it go to Wednesday, it should be stronger than Tuesday. And go on and on and on. I had an incident over the weekend that, let me tell you something, my faith was totally placed in God's hands. And we was in a very, very awkward position that something crazy could have happened. I was praying the whole time. Guess what? Here I am today after having a beautiful event to be able to say, thank you, Lord. I went to the man in the mirror today. After having the conversation with my friend Tap, and we talked about this conversation about man in the mirror, I went back to the man in the mirror, looked in the mirror, and said, hey, bro, what you going to do? How you going to handle this? I said, I'm going to go ahead and share this message. I'm reaching out to each and every last one of you. Look at the man or woman in the mirror. Ask them, do you love yourself? It says, thank you, God, for each new day. I'm sure that's a he gives. Thank God for each new day that he gives us. I know that's what, sometimes when we typing it'll come in kind of way. But I know what you mean, Bishop. But that's what we got to do. We got to be thankful. Look at the man in the mirror, talk to him. Look at the woman in the mirror, talk to him. Find out why you're struggling. Look at all the people. Yo, you know why you got bad health? Look at the mirror. Look at the man in the mirror and ask him, why do I have bad health? Because you ain't taking care of yourself. Why are you waking up with headaches? Because you're probably worrying about things you shouldn't be worrying about. You're probably putting things in your body you shouldn't be having. The man in the mirror tell you the truth. You don't need the doctor to tell you all the time. Go to the man in the mirror first. Go to the woman in the mirror. Why you had a headache? Why you drank that liquor last night? Why did you eat that whole pie when you should just ate a slice? Come on, the man in the mirror tell you the truth. You know? Why people running away from you? Why a lot of people hating on you? Go to the mirror. Ask them. Ladies, why is a guy all the time he looking at you and he think that you are a knucklehead? Ask the woman in the mirror. Ask the man in the mirror, why do people, when they see you come in the room, that they looking to make sure you don't take nothing? Ask the man in the mirror. All of us know the truth. And the man in the mirror will reveal it to you and set you free. For every day that you grow older, God gives you the wisdom to understand how to make yourself better. It's up to you to do that. I hope that this topic today was to help somebody. I please ask you to also go to YouTube, subscribe to the People to People podcast with Rodney Grimes. I ask for your support. I also ask for your help which I'm not ashamed to do. And it's through the process of me talking to the man in the mirror. He said, ask, and you will receive. We need your support. We asking for sponsors. We need sponsors for this podcast. We need people that want to work with. And if you haven't came out to the studio, why don't you do this? Come out to 1934 Old Gallows Road and check out the studio and look at it and see why we ask for support. See what we're doing. If you had been at that podcast network, that networking event yesterday, you would understand why we need your support. We need you to go subscribe on YouTube, and we also need your donations. You can send your donations to our Cash App. It's the $RG1960. The $RG, that's capital R, capital G, 1960. We appreciate everything that you do. And when we look at the man in the mirror, he tells us what we need to do. He tells us to keep moving because we are people to people, power to power. We are positive thinking people. I'm going to get ready to get up out of here. I know I came on a little late, so my producer, she allowed me to get another extra 15 minutes in there. And I know then I have to be obedient and come out and do what I do and keep it moving. So, all I can just tell you that y'all just stay tuned and remember God is real. And if you don't believe me, ask the man in the mirror. Ask the woman in the mirror. See what they tell you. They're going to tell you the truth. Believe that. So, it's all about us just moving forward. I love you. And I just want you to stay focused. It is so good to see the man in the mirror and the woman. They'll help you out. Let's stay prayed up. I love you. Peace and blessings. I love you too, Gerald. I love you too. I love everyone, man. The man in the mirror told me. Yeah. Said, it's the man in the mirror. Think about yourself. Think about those people. Think about everything that's going around just making you weak. You think, you walk in the street. You look in the mirror and ask yourself, tell me the truth so I can be free. You'll know how to treat others, and then you can look and say, I know how to treat me. The man in the mirror, the woman in the mirror, will set you straight. They'll have you where you walk around and you won't know how to hate. They give you the vision. They give you the understanding to know where to go. You stop looking down. You stop feeling low. You look above and you say, oh Lord, thank you for the man in the mirror. Yeah, the woman in the mirror. Peace and blessings. Yeah.